Hey everybody, this is Daniel Young. I'm the owner and founder of Adapted Perspective and the Adapted Perspective social media platforms. And I am not doing a normal stock market video. I'm doing a portfolio update video, which I just saw I haven't done since July. Um, so I've done a couple things, really three or four things since I've made one of these videos. And I don't want to be honest, I don't want to drag this out and make this really long and we'll say instructional, like my normal videos. I really just want to look at our portfolio, what's changed, different things we've bought, and then circle back to the overall market strategy on a different video. So since July, we have finally integrated what used to be at Webull, and we've merged that into Fidelity. So now it's all in the same place. That's good for me in the sense that everything's in the same place and easier to manage. I like Webull's platform better when it comes to managing individual stocks. It's an easier interface. I dislike Webull's customer service. I found transferring funds was a downright pain in the ass, and so much more of a pain than it should have been. Um, I tried three or four different means of communication, and they never responded back. That's troubling as a business. If you're in any regard, if you're not able to help your customers, whether they want to stay with you or not, that's telling. And even though I didn't move platforms for that reason, it's a good confirmation of moving platforms, or that moving platforms was a good decision on my part. Um, Portfolio wise, so we've moved the Roth to Fidelity. And then we've made three portfolio purchases. I think there's more, to be honest, but maybe I just didn't document it well on my end. But so we've made three portfolio purchases recently. This one we made at the beginning of October. Um, we and without getting into every fund and why, I picked these three funds over the two funds below. I thought those three gave us the best option in the existing market and going forward for pricing, monthly payments. ADX was at a high. Like I'd much rather buy it on the low end of things. USA at the time was a little bit like it was in the ballpark of where we bought it before. Um, the discount was a little less than where we had bought it. The dividend is just this way because it shows zero shares. So if I change it back to one, it'll pop up. Um, but we picked BRW for the bonds and the crypto aspect. We picked FCO because of the bonds and the business development aspect. And then KYN, even though the yield wasn't, I mean, it was close to ADX, even though the yield's under 9%, with where AI is going and what we need as a country with the grid and data centers and software management and all that stuff, I picked a pipeline company. And it was a hard decision, honestly, between KYN and NML, um, and even DNP. Um, but DNP didn't meet the metric and NML didn't meet the metric for the week. So it was those three. Let's see. This past week, I I bought more shares of BRW. What I wish I had known was that BRW was going to offer rights because I would have held off here because the rights offering was at 721 instead of 754. So I would have held off buying BRW here and then just bought more rights to get access to a lower price point. So I went ahead and picked up 200 additional shares of BRW at 721, and then I picked up another 50 shares inside our Roth that's now at Fidelity, um, another 50 shares of BRW, and these two things have not made it into the portfolio. I've been wanting to do excuse me, I've been wanting to do a portfolio update in the sense of this is how I update the portfolio and this is how I enter the data in one, how I enter data in the dividend tracker spreadsheet, and how I get the two to communicate and not merge. But let's see, this is all now Fidelity. But the data in this column is referenced off a different spreadsheet, right? And I have scheduled dividends, so I can just kind of see how it's going to track for the year. And this is scheduled for this year, like I mean, it's missing the months that we didn't uh, own anything those months. The USA we picked, and it's not going to pay a dividend until next year, which is one of the other reasons that why I held off at the time. Um, but it looks at our projected dividends for just this year, and then we also get real-time dividends because you know as much as well as I do that dividends sometimes change. Sometimes they get better, sometimes they fluctuate. It's not so much they get worse, but they fluctuate a little bit. Um, Sometimes they do get worse. But then this spreadsheet and really that value goes back to this other spreadsheet. And that's how I track dividends, overall profit, overall return of investment. And I get the two spreadsheets to speak to each other. So I wanted to do another video on how that happens. But again, I'm kind of running behind pace. So that's the simple, maybe not the simple, that's the short update or the short version of the update. We bought three funds at the beginning of October that have not been added into the spreadsheet at large. And then we just picked up another batch of BRW, which again has not been integrated into the spreadsheet at large, but will get integrated at some point. And the sooner the better. Um, as to what else has been updated inside this master list, I've updated the notes section. So I don't often go into it. I'll show it briefly. I don't often go into it. I reference a lot, but I went through and updated this tab. Just if I have different questions about different funds, I added some notes. Um, and whenever I get things in order on my end of things, whenever I get things in order and really start loading into a hosting platform, my goal is to post this and quite honestly charge a price for it. But then you would get access to everything in the spreadsheet. And it's crazy because the accounts in here, like that's my Roth and that's my Fidelity, the spreadsheets all integrate. You would be able to view that and download a copy of that if it works out well. But at the same time, I'm not foolish enough to post my account data inside that file. So you would be able to see everything I see, and you would be. My goal is that when I update the spreadsheet, it also updates on the hosting service. Or if I have to, I'll just upload a new file. But you would get all of my material, all of the data, all the reference points, the stock purchases, the spreadsheet update, all that stuff. You would have access to it through a paid membership. That's my goal. So on my end of things, I'm currently writing three books at once. I am about finished with the overall, or maybe the initial book, the 12 Steps to Financial Freedom. Then I have a breakoff book specifically focused on closed-end fund strategy, and then I have another book that's focused more on the recent high school grad currently a college student who's hopefully targeting scholarships and how they can use scholarships to go ahead and grow their wealth early in the game, as opposed to getting a full-time job and doing all the other stuff after college that we all did. So all of that's in the works. All of that's currently in progress. And when I can get it all buttoned up and finished and posted, then I can start doing more stuff. So that's all I have. I mean, planning wise, I plan to be back on tomorrow. I'll post the normal Sunday video tomorrow about stock market strategy. and where we're looking for closed-end funds, both in the now and in the future. And we'll see how that goes. I haven't done any of the updates yet. I have a theory of where that goes, but we'll see if that holds true or not. So whatever you have for the Saturday, I hope it goes well. And I will see y'all tomorrow or Monday, whenever you watch the video next. But I'll see you on another video at a different time. So see you later. Bye bye.